minute can open your eyes. One book can open your world. Knowledge gives you power. Read and rise higher. 9R Tree. Better life begins in a book.
Hello, I'm Sebastian. Welcome to 9R Tree's podcast. Today, I will summarize and review the book. Emotional Intelligence: How to Master Self-Awareness, Empathy, and Social Skills for Deeper, More Meaningful Relationships offers a practical roadmap for understanding and managing emotions in a world that often feels rushed, reactive, and disconnected. Instead of treating feelings as problems to be fixed, this book shows how emotions can become powerful tools for connection, clarity, and personal growth. Drawing on insights from psychology, communication skills, and mindfulness, it breaks emotional intelligence into clear, workable components that anyone can practice, regardless of background or personality. Whether you struggle with conflict, misunderstandings, or feeling unheard in your relationships, this guide helps you identify what is really happening beneath the surface. You learn how to recognize your own emotional patterns, respond more thoughtfully to others, and build stronger bonds based on trust and understanding. It is designed as a step-by-step companion for people who want deeper relationships, better communication, and a more grounded inner life. I will give you key takeaways from this book. Firstly, understanding the foundations of emotional intelligence. The book begins by defining emotional intelligence as a learnable set of skills rather than a fixed personality trait. It breaks EQ into core components such as self-awareness, self-regulation, motivation, empathy, and social skills, explaining how each area contributes to healthier interactions and better decision-making. Instead of treating emotions as obstacles, it shows how they carry valuable information about needs, boundaries, and values. The author contrasts emotional intelligence with intellectual intelligence, clarifying why high IQ alone does not guarantee satisfying relationships or personal fulfillment. Realistic examples demonstrate how low emotional awareness can lead to misunderstandings, impulsive reactions, or lingering resentment, while higher EQ creates space for patience, curiosity, and constructive problem-solving. The chapter also introduces the idea that emotional intelligence is a lifelong practice, encouraging readers to see growth as an ongoing process rather than a quick fix. This foundational section sets the stage for the practical tools and exercises that follow throughout the book. Secondly, developing deep self-awareness and emotional clarity. A central focus of the book is self-awareness, presented as the starting point for any meaningful emotional growth. The author guides readers through recognizing emotional triggers, understanding recurring patterns, and naming feelings with greater precision. Instead of vague labels like bad or stressed, the book encourages a richer emotional vocabulary that includes nuances such as disappointed, overwhelmed, anxious, or hopeful. Practical exercises help readers tune into their bodily sensations, thoughts, and automatic reactions so they can catch emotional shifts early rather than after an outburst or withdrawal. Reflection prompts invite readers to examine their personal history, beliefs, and past relationship experiences to see how these shape current responses. The book emphasizes that self-awareness is not about self-criticism, but about compassionate observation, allowing room for change. By learning to pause, notice, and reflect before reacting, readers gain a stronger sense of inner stability and choice. This increased clarity becomes the foundation for healthier boundaries, better communication, and more authentic behavior in relationships. Thirdly, mastering emotional self-regulation and inner balance. Once readers understand their emotional landscape, the book turns to self-regulation, showing how to manage feelings without suppressing or exploding. It explains the difference between reacting and responding, highlighting how emotional regulation protects relationships from unnecessary damage and builds personal resilience. Techniques such as mindful breathing, cognitive reframing, and grounding exercises are introduced in accessible, step-by-step formats so readers can apply them in real-life situations like arguments, criticism, or stress at work. The book discusses how unregulated emotions often lead to defensiveness, blame, or avoidance, while regulated emotions create space for problem solving and empathy. It also addresses common challenges such as emotional numbness, rumination, and overthinking, offering strategies to move through them. Readers are encouraged to build personalized regulation plans for moments of anger, sadness, or anxiety, making emotional balance a habit rather than a rare exception. This section reinforces the idea that emotional maturity comes from responding with intention instead of being controlled by fleeting moods or reactive impulses. Fourthly, cultivating empathy and deep listening in relationships. Empathy is presented as the heart of emotional intelligence, crucial for creating deeper, more meaningful relationships. The book explains different forms of empathy, including emotional, cognitive, and compassionate empathy, showing how each contributes to connection. It teaches readers how to shift from judgment to curiosity, actively trying to understand what someone else may be feeling and needing. Practical tools for deep listening are provided, such as reflecting back what you hear, validating emotions even when you disagree with someone's viewpoint, and asking open-ended questions instead of offering quick advice. The author highlights common empathy blockers, including defensiveness, assumptions, and distraction, and offers ways to overcome them. Real-world scenarios illustrate how empathy transforms conflict into collaboration and prevents small misunderstandings from escalating. By learning to see situations through others' eyes while still honoring their own boundaries, readers can build trust and intimacy. This section emphasizes that empathy is a skill that grows with practice and intention, not an inborn trait limited to a few naturally sensitive people. Lastly, building social skills, boundaries, and healthy communication. The book concludes its core teaching by weaving emotional awareness, regulation, and empathy into everyday social skills. It explains how emotionally intelligent communication goes beyond polite conversation to include honesty, clarity, and respect for both parties. Readers learn practical frameworks for expressing feelings and needs without blame, using I statements, and addressing issues before they turn into larger resentments. There is a strong focus on boundaries, knowing when to say no, how to protect personal energy, and how to navigate difficult people or toxic dynamics without losing self-respect. The book also explores how to read nonverbal cues, handle disagreements more constructively, and repair trust after conflict. Examples show how these skills can improve romantic relationships, friendships, family interactions, and workplace dynamics. By practicing these tools, readers can become more confident, assertive, and compassionate communicators. This final section ties all elements of emotional intelligence together, offering a clear path toward more fulfilling, balanced, and connected relationships in every area of life. In conclusion, emotional intelligence, how to master self-awareness, empathy, and social skills for deeper, more meaningful relationships, is well suited for anyone who feels stuck in repetitive conflicts, struggles to express emotions clearly, or wants richer connections with others. It is especially helpful for people who sense that logic alone is not enough to navigate modern relationships, whether at home, at work, or in social circles. The book stands out because it does more than describe emotional intelligence in theory. It translates ideas into concrete exercises, reflection prompts, and communication tools you can use immediately. By guiding you through self-awareness, emotional regulation, empathy, and social skills in a structured way, it offers a complete toolkit rather than scattered tips. Investing in this book means investing in your long-term emotional health and relationship quality. Instead of buying a generic self-help title that stays on the surface, this resource helps you create lasting inner changes that ripple through every relationship, decision, and interaction in your life. If you would like to support Mindful Minds Co., you can buy the book through the Amazon link I've provided in the podcast description. After reading the book, please let me know what you think and share your thoughts. See you around.
1 minute can open your eyes. One book can open your world. Knowledge gives you power, read and rise higher. 9 or tree, better life.